Hello, and welcome to the 19th Annual Green Living Festival, virtual, ta-da, as are so many other things these days, coming to you from the Missouri Botanical Garden, specifically the Earthway Center, the Garden Sustainability Division. I'm Jean Ponzi, Green Resources Manager on the Earthways team. We're bringing you sustainable solutions with this festival, as we do every year, and our exhibitors are such an important part of that because each one of them is an expert and has unique characteristics and qualifications in their field to present a spectrum of sustainable solutions for every day, for your home, for your lifestyle, for all the ways you work and play and worship and interact with others at the safe and healthy distance. Big shout out to Ameren, Missouri. Thanks to our presenting sponsor. Ameren, Missouri makes all of this possible. 3 days of Green Living Festival, June 6, 9, and 11, and all of the resources are accessible for viewing at your convenience at mobot.org/greenlivingfest. This exhibitor interview is with Quiet Village Landscaping. They are an exhibitor specifically for our Naturescaping Day, which is Thursday, June 11th. But frankly, at the Missouri Botanical Garden and for us at the Earthway Center, naturescaping happens every day. And that's the way we think it ought to be. Rebecca Eisel is Senior Landscape Designer with Quiet Village Landscaping. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi, Jean. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thanks. How are you?
Doing good.
Good. Now, how is it that you're a landscaping designer and you have a door and I'm a, green girl and I have a sunflower? It should be the other way around.
That is true. That's very true. I'm not a Zoom pro like you yet.
Well, you're a plant pro, that's for sure, a plant ally and a plant expert. Quiet Village, based in St. Louis, yes. How long has your company been in business?
So we've been in business for 14 years now.
Wow.
So
And
started out as maintenance, but now do the whole gamut now.
And you do a lot of rainscaping projects. We work with you through the Earthway Center's management of MSD Project Clear and the Deer Creek Watershed Alliance projects, and you're real native plant specialist, yes?
Yes, we do. We really specialize in sustainable landscaping. Biggest thing is just getting natives in everywhere, front yard, backyard, anywhere we can put natives. But then also specializing in the rainscaping as well. And like you mentioned, working with the Deer Creek Watershed and Project Clear to do several of those projects every year.
What prompted that specialization for Quiet Village, Rebecca?
The owner of the company, Dennis Evans, has always had a big interest in sustainability. But then he brought me in 8 years ago, and that has been something that's been my specialty as well. So I was really able to kind of guide the design build division in that direction.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have some slides that will show us a little bit about how that sustainability looks. Let's get them up. I like your tagline there, Rebecca Eisel, design your paradise. But I have a hunch that the kind of paradise you design is going to look different. How much different from, the green carpet and the poodle boxwoods and, the conventional paradise?
You know what? We're really able to strike a good balance, I think. That's something Quiet Village really works towards, is doing creating a landscape that's both functional for both wildlife and for stormwater, but also we take into account, we're landscape designers, so take into account architecture and the surrounding neighborhood so that we're able to design things that are functional, but that aren't going to scare the neighbors or anything like that. We want people to realize that it can be both beautiful and functional.
And that's such an important thing, such an important message to get across as we look at, visit sites when we can, like City Garden in downtown St. Louis, that is all native landscaping and that is a very formal, very elegantly designed landscape. Can you show us some examples, Rebecca?
Yeah, so we have a few here. So one, they're over to the left here. We can get color. We can get lots of color. with native landscaping. Sometimes I think people think that it's, more just green, and so we can get lots of color. This landscaping here is a little bit more natural. We do have a patio here that has some nice big joints in it, so it allows water to move through it. And we have all this plant material that means you don't have to mow a lawn back here. You have a landscape that once you get it established is really gonna do a lot to take care of itself and keep your maintenance low, kind of a big cleanup in the spring, and that, is about it. You let Mother Nature kind of take care of it. And then this project over here is just an example of a backyard we did, and that's a before and after. So they were having some serious water issues before we got there, and we did a series of rain garden basins and dry creek bed to kind of move the water from basin to basin. And they have been thrilled with the results. Even have had some new construction where we were, a little worried, what the neighbors might cause, and it's still holding up.
Interesting. So what has been one of the most interesting challenges for you, Rebecca, as senior landscape designer for Quiet Village, when you're talking to a client and they say, well, we'd like this and this, and we'd like this and this and this, and putting that all together?
A lot of it is education, and educating them that if they want a functional landscape, that a few nibbles and a leaf is actually something we want to see. That means your landscape is useful. It's when your landscaping isn't touched and it's still, the leaves look as perfect as the day we put them in, that means it's not being functional. So a lot of it's educating clients that insects are going to use this as a food source, and that's an awesome thing. I get very excited with my clients when I see like a red bud with the leafcutter bee holes in it. It's just awesome, and when they learn that, they get excited about it too. So a lot of it's education, and with rainscaping too, it's also educating them that we build overflows into rain gardens for a reason, because probably 70% of the rain events are going to be captured by the rain garden, but we all know the thunderstorms we get in St. Louis. And so that's why we build that overflow into it, is we don't want to just flood the yard however it feels like flooding. We, still allow the water to go where it needs to go in a heavy rain event. So a lot of it's just education.
Sure. Well, and design and engineering and hydrology and understanding soil, all that level of expertise that you bring to creating these beautiful results. Your next slide, I think, has a little bit of an edible landscape, doesn't it?
Yes, we are starting to do, and I think a lot of it has to do with people staying at home now, is we had already started doing more edible landscapes and creating raised beds. But now that people are at home and really have the time to spend on it and maybe don't want to run out to get their fresh vegetables, we're doing more of that. And so like you see here, we're doing some more formal raised beds like you see here, but we're also doing edibles sprinkled into the landscaping. So putting in blackberries and raspberries, service berries, various, different plants that can just work right in with the rest of the landscaping and provide food.
Contact information for Quiet Village.
So here we are here. We're on all the social media outlets, so you can check us out on any of those. We also have our own website, so you can check that out, see some of the projects that we've done. You can also contact us through the website to schedule a consultation with one of our designers. And then that will also, give you more information about rainscaping and what we do with the rainscaping and native landscapes.
So Rebecca, I think one of the most important things probably to get across to people is that a sustainable landscape is a beautiful landscape as well as a lively one, not flappy, not weedy, not goofy. What is it that, what are some of the key factors that you as a designer have to work with to bring about that beauty and that order with native
Yes.
plants.
Yes. So a lot of it is using the same design principles we used to use with ornamental plants is, we want that variety of size. We want a variety of evergreen and blooming. So it works, amongst the neighborhood and all the traditional landscapes. That also means we do some massing of plants, which means that we put multiple of the same plant in an area. And that kind of helps in a couple of ways. One, it gives some continuity to the design, but it also makes maintenance easier for clients come next year. They're only learning so many plants, and when they go to clean it up, they know, okay, I have 7 of these. These are the good plants. This must be a weed. This must be a weed. And then we also incorporate kind of normal, landscaping features as far as putting benches and paths in there so it looks like a very intentional garden, giving it a nice spade edge and a little bit of mulch around the edges so that it's all very obvious that it is a cultivated space, but then using a lot of those traditional landscaping features to let people know that it's very intentional.
Sure, sure. And can a native landscape, can an ecological landscape be one that the property owner can maintain themselves, or do they always have to call in a specialist?
Oh, they can absolutely maintain it on their own. It is with native landscaping, we encourage people, especially at the end of the year when a lot of people will go and clean everything up and tidy everything up, cut it all down. We actually encourage our clients, you know what, leave that stuff up. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be food material or it's going to be habitat that is going to help our animals. So in the fall, just take a break and enjoy your landscape rather than spending time cleaning it up. It's mainly that spring cleanup. There's, you can kind of expect to have a good long weekend day where you trim some stuff back. If you want to add that little bit of mulch around the edges, crisp up that spade edge, prune if you want to shape stuff. But with a good landscape design, we're going to consider the size of things. So there really shouldn't be the, constant pruning that there is with a lot of ornamental plants to try and keep them in a certain space. We're giving things enough space that you don't have to prune and prune and prune.
And Rebecca, do you have a particular favorite plant that you really rely on a lot, a real workhorse and a pet plant?
Yes, that's a good question. I think probably my favorite is a perennial, and it's the threadleaf blue star Amsonia hubrichtii. It's a really gorgeous sun plant. As a designer, I work with colors when people ask for particular colors, but I work a lot with texture, and you can't beat this plant for texture. Very soft, moves very cloud-like, amazing fall color, nice gold fall color. And then the flowers are just an absolute bonus to me. It's a nice ice blue flower in the spring. So that's just completely a bonus. The texture is why I love it.
Ecological landscaping, good for people, good for wildlife, better for maintenance, and working with a local company like Quiet Village Landscaping keeps those dollars in the community as opposed to going to the big box store. And plus then you can be sure that you're getting actual natives, you're getting the right plants.
Yep, absolutely. Well, thanks so much, Jean.
You're very welcome, Rebecca Eisel. Thank you. And thanks to Quiet Village for being an exhibitor. You were the first to sign up this year.
Oh, good.
I know.
We're excited about this. We've been doing it for, I say, a long time, as pretty much as long as you've had it, and we really enjoy this festival.
Thank you. Thank you. We in the Earthway Center, we work more sort of with like recycling and changing your light bulbs. But when we get to talk about nature and we get to talk about plants, which is the heart and soul of Missouri Botanical Garden, that always makes me so happy.
Yes.
Rebecca Eisel, Senior Designer, Quiet Village Landscaping. Thanks for your work. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
The Green Living Festival is coming to you thanks to Ameren, Missouri, our presenting sponsor, from the Earthway Center of the Missouri Botanical Garden. I'm Jean Ponzi. On behalf of all of my colleagues, our staff, our volunteers, our colleagues and our friends in the businesses and the organizations that are exhibitors and that are our many presenters for Green Living Festival events. It's so fun to put this together for you, and we really hope that you are finding sustainable solutions you can use. You can find all of the resources for this festival at mobot, mobot.org/Green Living Fest. And if you have additional questions or you have additional ideas or thoughts, we have a Green Resources Answer Service at the Missouri Botanical Garden. Don't have that slide up here, but it will be a link from our festival pages. You can ask us at any time by phone or by email. Email greenresources@mobot.org. Where can I get this? What's green about it? How do I dispose of it safely? Is this really a true claim or is it greenwashing? And we will answer those questions for you. Earthway Center, Missouri Botanical Garden, Ameren, Missouri, and all of our exhibitors, we say thanks for viewing. Thanks for the green things you do. Thanks for being a part of the 19th annual and first ever Virtual Green Living Festival.